hand from ITV. Paul.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, to the Deputy Chief Medical Officer. Originally, we were told that the lockdown measures would be for 3 weeks. Is it safe to now assume that they will go on for much longer than that? And to the Secretary of State, when will the government be making that reassessment so that people can plan their lives?
Shall I start with that one? So I think if you look back, what the Prime Minister said was he would review in 3 weeks, and that actually links back to the point that I've just made. It would be foolish of us to start something one day and assume that it was going to have an impact the next. For all of us, it's taken quite some time to get used to this new way of living, to ensure that we practice social distancing and we stick to that. And as a population, we have evidence that we're getting better at that as we go through. People are staying at home more as they should. They're using transport less. They're only going to work when it's essential. So those measures have now been in place solidly for a week or two. We need another couple of weeks to see that through. And as I've just mentioned earlier, the issue of the 3 weeks is for us to review where we are and see if we've had an impact jointly on the slope of that curve. But I think to make it clear to the public, if we are successful, we will have squashed the top of that curve, which is brilliant. But we must not then suddenly revert to our normal way of living. That would be quite dangerous. If we stop then, all of our efforts will be wasted and we could potentially see a second peak. So over time, probably over the next 6 months, we will have a 3-week review. We will see where we're going. We need to keep that lid on, and then gradually we will be able to hopefully adjust some of the social distancing measures and gradually get us all back to normal. So I think 3 weeks for review, 2 or 3 months to see whether we've really squashed it, but about 3 to 6 months ideally, and lots of uncertainty in that, but then to see at which point we can actually get back to normal. And it is plausible that it could go further than that. We just need to wait to see how successful we've been. And of course, the bottom line is, as we always say, keep practicing good social distancing because we will manage it quicker and better between us.
Well, absolutely. From the outset of this crisis, we drew up the measures that could be implemented, and then on expert medical advice, we have chosen the right time for this country to implement them. And we've taken a number of very significant steps on social distancing over the course of the last 10 days, as Jenny has just said. And it is the nature of this virus that it takes a couple of weeks to see how effective each one of those in turn has been. When we've implemented them, we've said that we will review these in 3 weeks or so. And when the Prime Minister made his announcement on Monday, bringing to a close non-essential shops and encouraging us all to stay at home, to restrict what we do in our leisure time, he made clear that we would review these steps at Easter on the basis of the expert medical opinion, and that's exactly what we intend to do. But the evidence that I have seen suggests, as Jenny has said, that the public are generally complying. I've spoken to a number of chief constables from across the country over the course of the last few days, and business owners are behaving very responsibly. Of course, there are always small numbers of people who aren't, but in general, the public is doing the right thing. The more we comply, the more we will be able to protect the NHS, to save people's lives, and the faster we'll turn the tide on the virus. If I could take the next question from David Shookman, who's from the BBC. David, good afternoon.
Yes. Thank you very much indeed. 2 questions, if I may.